I felt like we were stuck in mud again for 3 quarters, and then give them credit, man. I thought they played really well. Obviously, with Ja going on, they had some guys step up, but we could not get it below, like it was like 9, 7, 9. We couldn't get on a sustained run until the fourth quarter. Credit to them. Obviously, Edie coming back helps them a lot because they're in that drop now, and we offensively struggled against him, struggled against the drop, and obviously, fourth game in a row where we haven't shot it well, but Danny, 16-point fourth quarter, right? That was really the key. Wasn't our I don't Don made some great plays, and Evan stepped it up, but our defense saved us because we didn't have it offensively tonight.
I felt like Evan was getting to the basket a little bit more frequently later in the game. What did you see that allowed him to get to those spots?
Yeah, I don't know. He was just, he just was more aggressive. His pop was better and just determined. And it's tough against that team because when they got Jackson and Edie in there, you got that's like a wall. You got two great, not good rim protectors, two great rim protectors. I did think what helped them, we ran that ATO, we got that 3. So now you hit 1 3 against them. Now they started closing out on him a little bit, and I felt like he got downhill off a closeout a couple times. But again, we did not play well and found a way.
Coach, Dean didn't put up big numbers, but he was a plus 22, and I know you went with him in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
How big was he in that?
We needed his strength, against those two big guys. Just rebounding, ability to resist both of those big guys, yeah, he was great defensively. We were really debating. We're thinking about Naquin too, but we felt like we needed the size. We needed his strength to wall up against those guys. So, but we were searching, Joe. We were searching for combinations. We're throwing a lot against the wall, trying to get this thing going. But I think at the end of the day, it was Don and Evan that just kind of raised their game in the fourth quarter.
And Max and Jalen seem to be your kind of energy guys, and without them, how big does Naquin come up?
Looks that way. There's 2 games in a row where he's kind of really helped our energy. He's not stuck in mud. He's like a racehorse out there. He's flying. He's getting deflections. He's all over the place. Even offensively, got out in transition, made a couple plays. He looks like he's playing an open gym in September. Again, part of this is we're not making shots right now. I think that's part. But I really got to look at our quality of shots we're getting. But again, good grind out game, good defensive fourth quarter.
Spence.
What kind of confidence can it give Naquin when he's taking on someone like Jaren Jackson, who's proven, who's all-star level guy, and he was getting into some tussles with him there in the third. Like it seemed like he was up for the challenge.
I was thinking that when he had 18 points the other night. You imagine, it's like all of a sudden, man, I'm an NBA player. I can get 18 points. I can play in a big game like this and contribute, have great minutes. I can't imagine what it does for a guy's confidence. But listen, I really believe in the work, right? Like I think of Summer League, he was, I don't know, incredible, right? He was elite, and you say, well, Summer League, sure. And then I would say, open gym and preseason really good. So it shouldn't really be a surprise to us, the coaching staff. But he's building confidence and kind of what we were talking about before the game. This is a speed game now. It's going like this, and his profile, the way he runs the court and his length, he fits this league.
It seems pretty apparent that Lonzo's developing a rapport with Jarrett for sure. How has that kind of opened up a little bit for the offense, and do you think he can develop that same type of rapport with Evan in the same way?
Well, we need it. Without DG is kind of like the JA whisperer, and really involves him. And you know JA, like you gotta give him handoffs to keep him like super engaged. So Lonzo's that guy for us now. Can get him in the pocket, throws on the ball. It's huge. I think Lonzo and Evan, it's a little bit, and I've talked to Lonzo about, it's a little bit like, okay, just throw the ball to Evan and go get a bucket, and we get, that's not, Evan is better, in mobility, right? Like moving off ball screen or in a pick and roll. So we that's something, we gotta iron out and get those two on the same page.
Yeah. Kenny, what did you think of the shot profile balance tonight? You guys only took 4 3-pointers, but also getting to the free throw line, but also not making those as much.
Yeah, I wasn't, sure we missed shots, but I don't think the shot quality was great. I did not like it. And really what saved us, Don just made a lot of individual plays, and Evan made individual plays, but it wasn't, kind of, the ball wasn't buzzing around. Again, that drop is something we haven't seen a lot. Most teams are up at the level now, and you can kind of get closeouts, but they drop and then they stay home at shooters. So it was good strategy by them. Obviously, Edie helps a lot in that. So there's another kind of puzzle we got to figure out, because we'll see that coverage again, I'm sure.
You talked about Naquin just having that intensity throughout the entirety of him being on the court. What is it going to take for everybody to have that intensity?
I don't know. I think I just think you go through lulls in the season, and this is an early lull. I thought tonight we were going to come out with much more energy. We didn't. So I say just got to give these guys a little more rest. We'll practice a little later tomorrow. People can sleep in, get our legs under us. And I thought there was cognitively we weren't there. We had 22 turnovers. That's not, again, give them a lot of credit, but that's we've been really taking care of the ball. So Ethan, I'm going to get a better grip on this when I watch the tape and see how we could have done better. But yeah, you're right. We got to get our juice back.
Last one, Rich.
Can you talk about the resiliency of the team tonight, especially defensively, where you might have had to change how you played defense? And can you also address Evan's block? Was that something that changed the tide of the game and positioned you to actually be able to win this game?
Those are a lot of good questions. So first of all, that was a Defensive Player of the Year block. We showed it in the locker room after the game. So that was great. And then we changed coverages. We were in coverage majority of the game, then we switched to 1 through 5. We switched everything. I think that helped us got us out of closeouts. We went that smaller group with Naquin that helped with that. So we definitely had to make some adjustments tonight defensively, because we couldn't really stop them until the fourth quarter. And then the last piece is there's a mental toughness to holding the NBA team to 16 points. It's almost like a desperation. Like that's kind of the only way we can turn this game. And credit to our guys that they stepped up in that fourth quarter.